Hey guys, this is Chetan for Gizmo Times and you're watching a quick review of the Wave OS. It's a custom ROM made for Realme X3 and for other smartphones as well, but Realme X3 is one of those smartphones that has got a Realme UI 2.0 update, and after that we have seen some degradation in the performance, in particular in terms of gaming. But for someone who wants to make that gaming experience better and the performance better, you'd obviously want to look at whether the customer is able to offer the other features that were available on the Realme UI. So let's talk about Wave OS here. I've installed this, played a lot on this one, and I've actually liked the experience on this particular custom ROM. How to install it, you'll have to check the guides for that, but here we are going to talk about only the features that are possible on the Wave OS, that are available on the Wave OS. So if we start about what is the Android version and everything, this is Wave OS based on Android 11, and it's version 4.5. The flavor is Rasmalai, so it's obviously an Indian developer, I guess. Yes, it's an Indian developer who has made this particular custom ROM for Realme X3. And the features, that's what we're going to talk about. We're talking about not only the regular features but also ones that are made for gaming or for gamers. So firstly, if you are a Realme UI user or the Realme X3 user for its gaming, the screen recording options are very important, and that's where this is not going to be one of those things, one of those features which you will like, because even though if you see the option of this one, you'll see that there's option for device audio and microphone. But if you use this, what happens is, while both of them might get recorded, your teammate cannot listen to you if you are playing a game. If you're talking about games like BGMI, if you turn on the mic and talk, you can't actually talk to your teammates. They won't be able to listen to you if you're using this particular source. So obviously the best feature of Realme UI was recording both in-game audio as well as the microphone audio while talking to your teammates, and also they getting your audio very easily. That is gone here, so that is one compromise that you're gonna see. So the screen recording options are not going to remain like what it was on the Realme UI. One of the features I actually liked is under the displays, that I'll show you first. It's about the refresh rate that you can set not just for the maximum but also for minimum. So you can set it as a minimum 60 Hz refresh rate, because what happens is, most of the times in the interface or even in apps like Facebook, Twitter, where the videos are played, they mostly play it at 30 fps, and even if it's possible sometimes to consume a lesser battery or to save more battery, the refresh rate is reduced and the FPS is reduced there. So you can set a minimum refresh rate of 60 Hz, 90 Hz, 45 or 120 based on your liking, and that is one feature that we hadn't seen on Realme UI, but that is now present on the Wave OS here. Now apart from that, there's also features like tap to wake and everything that you can see here. We'll just improve the brightness a bit. Yes. The screen timeout option, there's night light, there's color options where you can change from natural, boosted, saturated and adaptive. So you can change that based on your liking again, and the option to change the customization options like your wallpaper, your grid options on the home screen, the clock layout style. I mean, what we have right now is this one, and you can change that as well to whatever you want. That would be on your home screen, and there are different wallpapers that you can set from on the customization options. Now apart from that, there's the regular options of screen locking and face unlock. That is all present. But if we now talk about the gaming aspect, which is one of the most important aspects of this particular UI, so you have Realme settings. They haven't removed all the Realme settings, which is a very good thing. So they haven't removed all those. If you go into this, you'll see the CABC mode, and you have the game mode as well, which would boost the touch sampling and enable performance mode, increasing the power consumption. This would increase the power consumption, but the game mode actually makes your gaming experience much better. Now apart from that, you have the DND mode, that's the do not disturb, and this ambient display gestures as well, which you can actually turn on. These are some of those gestures which were seen on Realme UI and now are carried over to the Wave OS. And you have the options for enabling the USB OTG and also FPS overlay. This was something that we hadn't seen on Realme UI particularly, but this seems to be something given in Wave OS, even though it is under the Realme settings options. So you have this FPS option. If you are a gamer, you know the importance of FPS, and sometimes if you want to see how good the performance right now is, you can open up the game, you can check out the FPS and try to judge whether the gaming performance of this UI currently is good or not. Now, the apps that are pre-installed here, I'll tell you about the apps that we installed from our side. These are the four apps that I installed. And again, I have installed Genshin Impact, I have installed Magisk, and I've installed these two applications as well. Everything else comes pre-installed. So it's a very small list of apps. You have Calendar, Camera Go, that's Google Camera Go here. And it works pretty well. And apart from that, you have a Chrome, Clock, Contacts, Files, Gallery, and Gmail. Google, you don't even see YouTube. YouTube was not pre-installed. If I remember it correctly, I had installed it from my side. But if you get it, that's okay. So these are very few apps that are pre-installed, and that's a very good thing. There's no bloatware at all. It's a very clean UI and a very easy to use interface, and it's actually very smooth. I mean, I've used it for quite some amount of time, and if you talk about the benchmarks as well, the benchmark score has improved quite a bit. I mean, this is the final benchmark score that you see on Android version 9.0.10, and in that 5,37,000 you see that the GPU score is 1,88,000. So quite an improvement in terms of the GPU. So that's a very good thing that you see here. And now if you actually want to install this, you can check out the guides, but if you want to discuss more about the UI, you can join the Telegram group which is present on which is a kind of a discussion group on Telegram. But you can also join our Gaming Josh group to discuss more about the UI if you have any issues. I have a couple of issues that I had seen initially when I was playing the game. The notification panel was dragging down a lot. That was one of the issues that I had faced. But if I wanted to get rid of it, I have to change it to gesture, from gesture navigation to 3-button navigation. That's what I did. I mean, from gesture I went back to 3-button navigation. That's one of the best things that actually fixes that touch issues, because whenever I was playing in the landscape mode, because of the accidental touches or whatever it is, the the notification panel was dragging down, which is quite annoying, and sometimes that also changes the way you experience your gameplay. And that's where I felt like, yes, this is an issue which should be fixed from the developer side. But until they fix it from their side, there's this fix which we can do it. We can actually go to 3-button navigation. And the second issue right now is the battery drain. This is also something that I have experienced. The battery drain is quite easily noticed. I mean, noticeable that you would see a lot of battery drain in the initial times at least. Later on they might fix it, because Realme UI's battery life was quite good, and Wave OS might try to replicate that. I've got about around 4 to 4.5 hours of screen on time with this game, continuous gameplay on a single charge. So I would say it's not that impressive, and it should get better with time, but only time will tell whether the developer is going to work on the battery issues or not. But since this is a single port, I would expect the developer to work better to make the battery life better, because since if you are a gamer, you might want to use the same port for headphones and you cannot charge the phone at that time. So it's obvious that this single port is going to annoy you a bit, and you might want to see the battery life to get better. Now under the graphic options of BGMI, this 90 fps, because we have used a module. This is what I wanted to show you. By default you're gonna get smooth and extreme, balanced extreme, HD extreme, and HDR extreme. And apart from that, you're not going to get the ultra HD option as well. But under smooth we have 90 fps, and the major, I mean, this is because we've used OnePlus 8 module here. What happens is, it's not going to change anything under the game settings or games files. It's going to only change the ID of this particular smartphone. What it does is, it actually makes your phone feel like OnePlus 8, and those OnePlus 8 90 fps settings are going to be copied to this one. And actually what happens is, even though you're on Wave OS and it's based on Android 11 for Realme's X3, the device ID actually shifts itself to OnePlus 8, and that gives it all the advantage of OnePlus 8's gaming features. So 90 fps is one of those features, and 90 fps is what you're gonna get if you use that OnePlus 8 module on the Realme X3 with the Wave OS. So these are the major things about whatever you see here. So that's it guys. If you are into gaming, into games like BGMI, and you wanted to see a better experience and a better performance after the Realme UI 2.0's update, obviously with Realme UI 2.0 we have seen things to be a bit poor in terms of the gaming performance and everything. Even though the UI has no issues, the regular usage is not bad at all. The gaming was where this phone was not performing well after the UI 2.0 update. So obviously people were looking out to explore options like custom ROMs, and this was one of the first ROMs that we've tried. And if you want to check out the gaming aspect of it, if you want to check out the gameplay, you can go to Gaming Josh and check out all the videos that we've done. We are doing live streams, we are doing the 90 fps test on this particular smartphone, so you can check that all out. And the description will have the links for all those videos here. So that's it guys, this was all about the Wave OS on Realme X3. I hope you like this video. If you do, share and subscribe to Gizmo Times for more. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.